Hey guys, welcome to Dividends Friday, where every Friday this year I'll be sharing with you one stock that has been paying out good dividends and we may just want to collect them. This dividend stock this week is paying more than 6% in dividends yield, and if you can see, it has been growing at a 12% compounded annual growth rate in terms of dividends. Now, before I continue, very important is to go to our channel and click on the subscribe button plus the notification bell so that you will get all the updates every single week. And now, I want to start by sharing with you a very interesting story related to our stocks this week. It is called the parable of the pipeline. The story is about two gentlemen, Pablo and Bruno. And these two guys, they are good friends, and one day their village has a vacancy job. The villager wants them to carry water to the village because the village does not have any natural water, no wells. They have to go all the way to the other mountains and carry the water back. And they are paid based on every bucket they carry. So Pablo and Bruno begin to work. Now, for Bruno, the strong muscular guy, he's thinking, wow, once I get all the money, I can buy a house and I can actually build my whole entire house to be a very nice house. Where else Pablo begin to think of something else. So somehow in the story, the muscular guy is always the one that doesn't think that much, correct? Now, anyway, back to this portion, he began to think that Pablo thinks, why don't I build a pipeline from my village to the mountain, or from the mountain to the village, so that I do not need to carry the bucket every single day. Once the water can flow to the village, I'm paid based on how much water I can give to the villagers. And that's where the difference began. So Pablo began to work extra hard every day. After he carried his daily bucket, he will spend additional time to start to build a pipeline. Now, initially, most of the people around do not know what he's doing, and they begin to laugh at him, saying that, hey, what are you doing, man? Why are you doing this? And he's saying that, well, I'm going to build a pipeline, and one day I will have multiple streams, or have an unlimited stream of water coming in, and that's where I can really retire. Whereas for Bruno, by the time he finished work every single day, instead of building a pipeline, he goes to the bar. Somehow there's always a bad association with bar, but doesn't matter. What happens is, as years goes by, Bruno, the muscular guy, as he carries more and more bucket, he finds himself getting more and more tired and does not have the energy to carry buckets anymore. And one day, he's too tired to go on and he has to stop working and his income stopped. Whereas for Pablo, he eventually finished building a pipeline. So what it means is, after that, he doesn't really need to go and collect buckets of water from the mountains anymore. He just need to turn on the pipeline and the villagers actually pay him. He has unlimited stream of cash. Okay, so there's a lot of assumption in this story, but what is the lesson? If you are like Bruno, Bruno's way of making income is to go and collect the water from the fountain every single day. He has to keep working. It's an active income and he cannot stop. Once he stops, once he has no energy to go on, his income stops. Whereas for Pablo, he spends extra effort while the rest of his friends, while the rest of the villagers were laughing at him. I don't know why they had to laugh at him, but when every single one of them finish working, they go to the pub, they go and relax, he will spend additional effort to build a pipeline. So who are you? Are you the Bruno way or are you the Pablo's way? And I think if you are watching the video right now, you are more like a Pablo, because what we are doing every single week, we are learning about one dividend stock, and every month when we spend the extra effort to look at which stock we want to buy and spend some money to buy that stock that gives dividend, we are building a pipeline. We are building a portfolio of dividends that will eventually give us unlimited stream of passive income. So congratulations. And now back to the stock this week. It has got to do with pipelines, and this stock is called Magellan Midstream Partners. This stock right now, you can see the dividend is giving up to 6.54%. Now, what is it that they do? They are a pipeline company. And you can see the word midstream is because they are in the oil and gas sector and they send oil and gas throughout the whole nation. So let me just explain a bit of what this company is about. Okay, this is taken from their annual report. You can see that they say that it's a straightforward business model. Now, let me explain to you segment by segment and also look at some of their finances right now. So this Magellan Midstream, they have three segments: refined products, crude oil, and marine storage. Let me explain a bit. So this forms the whole entire company. The first portion, refined products. Okay, so you know refinery companies like Phillips 66, Valero, some of the very big companies, they will refine oil. And who actually go and dig for the oil is like maybe Exxon and Chevron. Very big companies dig for oil, and other companies, they refine the oil. After refining the oil, this is what Magellan actually provides. The services that it provides is to store the oil. You can see some of the tankers here, and also pipe the oil over. When we talk about refined products, it means that oil that's already refined, ready for usage. And you can see they have some of the largest and longest pipelines throughout the nation where they pipe the oil to places where people distribute and sell it eventually. So how many percent is that? 54% is about refined products, and 38% is crude oil. Crude oil are those that are not refined, so they are crude. Okay, if someone said that you're not refined, you're crude, it means that you are not refined. Doesn't matter. It's not relevant. But the key thing is crude oil. They do the same thing. You can see on the map. The red color portion are the terminals. Terminals means places where they store the oil. These are the tankers where they store the oil. And what the pipes are places. Are the pipes that they actually pipe over. So instead of having to carry the oil over or having to transport them using big trucks, the pipelines transport the oil over to places where they can be refined or they can be used for other purposes. And the third segment is called marine storage. Well, I took some time to actually find out what marine storage are. You can see that these storages are similar, where they actually store oil, and you can see these are nearer to the coast, where it's nearer to oil that is dug from the sea. This is my understanding right now. And interestingly, this is what you see when you buy into this company. This is service they provide, pipeline business. And cool thing is they also give pipeline of dividends. Now, I want to share that 85%, again taken from their annual report, is fee-based. Now, what does it mean? It means that even if the oil prices go up or the oil prices go down, it doesn't affect 85% of their revenue, because 85% is based on how much oil I pipe over. So whether the oil prices is up or down, it doesn't really matter. They don't trade into oils. Okay? Now these are the assets that there's overall. You can see the different segments: refined, crude oil, and also marine as a whole entire snapshot. I want to share with you the key thesis. The key thesis of why this company can continue to do well is, number one, US is underpiped, meaning to say there is continuous demand for more pipelines to transport oil and gas across the country. And the second portion, the president of US is very pro exporting oil, and Magellan is actually providing the service of exporting oil through these services as well. Okay, because they have to actually store a lot of oil as more oil and gas company go and dig out for oil. I'm not sure whether I used the correct word, dig out for oil. Okay, so this is one screenshot right there I want to show you, because I've been asking myself, why is Magellan such a good company? Because there's many other companies around, and look at the screen right here. You can see that Magellan is not the biggest distributor company. I want to, whenever we buy a company, we want a company that's the best. So we want them to either be the biggest or they have certain advantage. And you can see that Magellan, it is not the top few. In fact, there's many companies, but they are among the top 10 at least. But one thing that's very special is this. Let me show you. Okay, why Magellan is my choice this week is because of this. When I look into some of the companies, and these are the companies that are all bigger than Magellan. Okay, look at the market cap here. They are all bigger than Magellan. This is something that jumps out at me, and that's the reason why I choose Magellan this week. Okay, if you look at this thing called net margin. Net margin means this. If, for example, if I collect $100 from a customer for distributing oil, how much money do I have left? If I'm left with $12, you can see here, Enbridge, the biggest distributor company in terms of oil and gas, they are left with 12%, $12. Okay, so if you collect $100 from the customers and you're left with $12, it is not that bad. But over the years, can you see it became 5%? So the net margin is only 5%. Now, if you look throughout the whole entire list of oil distributor company, piping companies, even this Kinder Morgan, it is one of the companies that Warren Buffett bought in the past. You can see that their margin is about probably maybe 10%, some very good ones up to 20%. You look at the whole screen and you zoom all the way down to Magellan. Magellan's net margin was initially 12% and it grew all the way to 40%. wow, you know this, what does this tells me? It tells me that Magellan has some advantage. How do you actually have a bigger margin than the rest of your competitors? Number one, you can charge higher than your competitors. Meaning to say your products and services must have certain amount of branding effect, or people trust you more. That's why they are willing to pay you more. So there's some advantage. Number two, if you're not able to charge higher, you can actually produce it at a lower cost. You can produce your services at a much lower cost. That's why you have a higher margin. Take a look at the whole entire screen. Magellan jumps out at me. So this is the reason why out of the distribution companies in terms of oil and gas, the piping services, Magellan is the choice this week. Now let's take a look at Magellan's finances, because I want to show you some of the key factors. Let's go into some of the key ratios. You can see for earnings per share, they have been increasing steadily over the years for the past 10 years. Very strong indicator. The dividends is also increasing. Can you see? Like I mentioned, it's growing at about 12% per year if you go and take a compounded annual growth rate. Now, one thing to note is, can you see that the payout ratio is pretty high? This is because Magellan's structure of the company is in a way that they are created to pay out dividends. If you are in Singapore, you heard of REITs company. It's like a unit, real estate investment trust. Magellan is similar to that in a sense that they have advantage when they pay out the dividends. So overall, you can see it's still below 90 to 100 in the recent years. And let me show this, like I mentioned to you, net margin very, very positive. Okay, in fact increasing. I like the sign of this. Many other things that we look at, like even return on equity, and also the interest coverage. They can easily pay back their debt. Well, this particular sector, their debt is typically quite high, but Magellan has enough net income to cover up to 7.5 times their interest. So this is my how do I say it? My choice this week. I've also looked at some of the interviews where Magellan's CEO was actually explaining how conservative they are. They do not want to overspend, overbuild. They want to make sure that every single pipe, every single terminal that they actually build is fully utilized. I've listened to some of the interviews. I also like the management. I may be biased, maybe, but well, they are giving me, how much is that? 6-point-something% in dividends, correct? Let's take a look again. Yes, the number is 6.54% in dividends. Yes, there may be some taxation issues and things like that in terms of getting dividend stocks in US, but remember, they are growing dividends at about 12% per year for the past 10 years. This is their records. So overall, this is what I want to share with you guys this week. So overall, this is the key stocks that I want to share this week. It is Magellan. You can see it's right down here, and I hope that you've learned something. I'll be collecting this some myself. So disclaimer, do your own homework. Do it together with me next week as I share more stocks. Okay, share these videos with your friend. Comment below any questions you have. I'll go and answer them. Okay, so see you guys next week in Dividends Friday, Financial Friday. I'll see you.